most of y'all were here a few weeks ago when Bobby and I came up and talked about where the hotel deal was. To kind of fast forward a couple of weeks, the Amada Hoffler deal, obviously you've read in the paper, is not going to happen. It seems like at this point, the majority of council, including our vice mayor, you probably read the article in the paper about Lewis's stand on this, and the mayor have come out against the Amada Hoffler deal. There has not been a response received back from Amada Hoffler. I don't believe we expect one to come forward at this point. And in very short order, the Amada Hoffler discussions will come to an end, I would imagine, and it would allow us to move forward on other potential opportunities. Briefly, with our last discussion, we talked a little bit about the Harmony Hospitality opportunity with the DoubleTree across the street. I'm really excited to have the guys from Harmony here today as we are allowed to kind of move forward and look at other opportunities. They're here today to talk with you a little bit about what happened and what we can look forward to with the acquisition of the DoubleTree brand by Hilton. Hilton actually acquired the DoubleTree brand, as well as what the potential could be for a DoubleTree by Hilton Convention Center Hotel. With us today we have Paige Johnson. Where's Paige? There's Paige. Paige, thank you for being with us today. And Brooks Johnson. And Brooks, if you want to come on up, I know you're going to start the process off for us.
Good morning. Thank you all for having us here today. What I'm going to try to do to begin this is to introduce you to Harmony Hospitality and Harmony Investments to give you some idea of who we are. And also talk about the DoubleTree brand a little bit so you can understand what DoubleTree is all about. So I'm going to start out by telling you where we're located. This is actually our parking lot. If you drove up to Harmony, this is what you'd see. Next slide. And this is our corporate headquarters. We are located at the corner of Diamond Springs Road and Northampton Boulevard. Our whole building is undergoing a facelift, so if you pulled up in front of the building today, this is what you'd see. This will be done very soon, we hope, because it's not been pleasant. Next, there you go. I want to begin with Harmony Investments. Harmony Investments was founded by Paige Johnson and Mark Garcia in 1993, and with the intent of acquiring and managing commercial properties, hotels, shopping centers, etc. In January 1, 2007, Harmony Hospitality was formed. This is a hotel management company, and it was set up to just manage all the hotels. We also hired a number of experienced hoteliers to help us through that. Harmony today, we currently own and manage 11 hotels. We have some others under development. We are based in Virginia Beach, and it's comprised of all local people. And as our properties mature, we do reinvest in new properties. This is a little map to give you some sense of where we're located. We have 2 hotels up in Williamsburg on the Eastern Shore, 1 hotel down on the Outer Banks. But as you can see, most of it's right here with 3 hotels in Virginia Beach, 2 in Norfolk Airport, Hilton, and 2 in Chesapeake. Of course, the DoubleTree is mostly what we're here to talk about today. This hotel was acquired in 2005. And after purchasing it, we put $5.7 million to renovate the existing building. We added the Max and Irma's restaurant. Also wanted to mention the Wyndham, which is another one of our oceanfront properties. This was acquired in '94 as the Ramada Plaza. And in 2007, it was renamed the Wyndham with a $4.2 million upgrade. We added the suites and a ballroom addition in 1999. If you've been to the surf club, a lot of people still like the old Gus's, but we think it looks a lot nicer now. Just want to mention a couple of new construction projects that we've done. We did a Chesapeake, 2 Hampton Inns, one in Chesapeake in 2008 and 2007, the Hampton Inn at the Norfolk Airport. We're also involved in some multifamily housing projects that you probably do not know about in Virginia Beach. The first one's Greenwich Village. This is 224 units. This is on Greenwich Road. It's under construction right now. In fact, you can see it if you go by down the interstate. Next slide. This will be ready for occupancy of May 1st of this year. It's 3 big buildings as well as a nice clubhouse and pool and so forth. That's okay, we can keep going. Another one that I'm sure you don't know about either is something called Pavilion Place. It's 196 apartments, and this will actually be located on the DoubleTree property. Groundbreaking is scheduled for next month with occupancy of June 2013. This is the site plan to give you some idea. Here's the existing DoubleTree Hotel, and this is where the apartments are going. It's a pretty big piece of land there that you really don't notice, but there's more than enough land there for that. I want to talk for just a minute about Hilton and DoubleTree so you can understand this brand that we're talking about. There's a lot of misperceptions about that. Hilton is based in Virginia. And it is the world's most recognized brand. It started in 1919 when Conrad Hilton bought his first hotel. And in 2007, the whole company was acquired by the Blackstone Group. And they've been doing a lot of significant upgrades to the overall brand. There are 10 brands within the Hilton family. They have the luxury brands like the Waldorf Astoria. The full-service brands where the DoubleTree by Hilton falls and the Hilton are in that same league. And then the focus service brands like the Hampton Inns, which we really believe in the Hampton Inns as well. This is something that we think is really important. This is the J.D. Powers guest satisfaction surveys, and as you can see, where Hilton comes out with 25 first place awards compared to all the others, more than twice as many as all the others put together. Also wanted to give you some sense of the size of these companies. As you can see, Hilton and Marriott on the left-hand side are the largest, really, hotel brands. I mean, these are really the gorillas in the whole hotel business. And you can see the other brands, including Hyatt, which are, well, a lot smaller. In global sales, this is another key selling point for Hilton because they have 30-some global sales offices all around the world. And what these people do is they bring meetings, conventions to your town, and they would be bringing business here to Virginia Beach. Another key thing about Hilton is the Hilton Honors Program. I'm sure you're all familiar with the loyalty clubs different hotels have. Hilton has the largest one in the world. And those people, you know, they cash in their points. They can come to Virginia Beach. I wanted to talk about DoubleTree specifically as a convention center, because there's been some conversation about that. And what I'm going to show you is a few convention center hotels with meeting and convention facilities that are DoubleTree by Hiltons. As you can see, like Albuquerque, Little Rock, Miami, Pittsburgh, Ontario, Chicago. So DoubleTree is a brand that is connected with convention centers, so there's no question of that. Another thing that we're pretty excited about, this is the old logo and branding for DoubleTree with the two kind of little squiggly things that you really don't know what they are. They've recently, in the past year, come out with this new branding of DoubleTree by Hilton, and it's really, it gives you a better sense and a better comfort level, I think, with the brand. Now, I want to go back to what you're really here to hear about, is the proposed convention center hotel. Again, here's the existing DoubleTree hotel. This is where the apartments are being built starting next month, and this is where we would propose putting the convention center hotel expansion. Here's a site plan of the proposed expansion. The existing hotel would be over here. This would be where the new tower would go. We're adding another ballroom. We have an existing ballroom. There'll be another ballroom that will connect it to give us about 10,000 square foot in one room, which would be huge, as well as additional smaller spaces. This is kind of a water feature fountain that you would see as you pulled up. Over here is a little outdoor area where events could take place. And another thing that we think is kind of cool that we've been wanting to do for quite some time, over here in this corner where the existing pool is today, we would want to put in a wave rider or a flow rider. And I don't know if you've seen these before, but this is what this is. So this would bring a new kind of amusement down to the ocean front, and that's something that we think is really very much needed. And now this is something that really is being shown publicly for the first time. This is the proposed expansion that we would build. This is the bridge that we would be asking the city to contribute. This is the new tower and the existing towers behind it. So there would be renovations to that tower in the back as well. We do have more plans, and we're going to be rolling those out very soon, but this is all we're going to show you today. And if you want to just leave that one up, I think it'd be good to leave that last slide up. And at this point, have Paige come up, and he can take your questions about how this might happen.
Questions from the floor?
Thank you, Brooks.
Yeah, this is a working process that we've been working on for several months.
Hold it up.
Right there.
Closer.
We found out some of the council members weren't particularly happy with the other proposals. So we've been working hard to come up with plans that we thought would be acceptable for everybody in the convention center folks, to please the guests that they're trying to please, to get more conventions in here. Currently, we are working on the layouts and we're working on the pricing. And once we get to the pricing, then we can figure out exactly what the needs may or may not be from the city. But our goal is to minimize the impact and hopefully use some tax incentives or some tax abatements to get the money that we need to service the debt for the increases. So that's where we are right now. I'm welcome to take questions.
Yeah.
First question's over here.
Morning. I was just wondering, you're going to build an apartment complex between the hotel and the convention center? Behind it. Okay. Well, even putting apartments in such close proximity to a venue such as this, do you think that's a good mix to have? Because I know if I live in an apartment up down at the oceanfront, God knows what you're going to be paying. I don't know if I'd want a bunch of drunken conventioners wandering by my window all night. I'm just saying.
The projects are completely separate.
Okay.
One's self-contained and the other self-contained.
All right.
We have apartments next to us right now, and that seems to work fine.
Back here, please.
I don't see why our tax dollars have to go to pay for your bridge.
Well, it complements both projects. I think the biggest hurdle we're having now with the convention center with the DoubleTree Hotel is people do not want to walk outside. And we're making a significant investment in the property itself, which is probably as much as we paid for it originally. So it's a way of sharing some of the cost. But I think there's some incentives that can be built in where the tax is paid for the people coming to use the facility to pay for the facility.
Thank you, appreciate it. Just to expound upon her question, many times it's pretty typical of a convention center, of course, guys, to have that bridge there, because conventions, when they book the conventions, they would like to have, for handicapped folks or for inclement weather, to have the bridge. My question to you is, if they do agree to build, let's say the project goes through, the city agrees, and they agree to build a bridge, would the city own the bridge, own those improvements?
Yes, the city would own that. Just to clarify, we will be doing the bridgeway to the end of our property. So it's really from the property over to the convention center. So that would be all on the city's property.
Given the current location, I'm curious to know if most of your guests are business people or are they visitors coming to play on the beach?
They're a combination. We have a lot of government business. We have a lot of tourists that come in from May through September. I think we have a lot of groups that we have in. So it's a combination, leisure, pleasure, corporate, and government.
Other question? Other questions?
Do you want to talk about the sports and how the sports groups now at the marathon and rock and roll there?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the use of what's needed for a hotel, but currently, if you go to the feasibility study that the city did and the information used for that, two of the largest groups that are coming here now is the Rock and Roll and the Shamrock. Both of those groups primarily use our facilities and are totally happy with our facilities. The main reason they need the convention center is for the exhibition hall. But all the VIP parties and the special parties and the rooms are either our hotel or the Hilton Hotel. The Shamrock primarily uses the Hilton for a small block of rooms to accommodate their needs. But most of the people that stay across the board, and they do have their VIP party at our hotel. So, and our hotel is actually full the weekend of Shamrock because of the Shamrock race.
Hey, can you also just talk a little bit about, I want them to hear about what y'all have done with the hotel since you acquired it, because the hotel has had a sketchy reputation over the years. It's had 3 or 4 owners. What y'all have done with it?
Yeah, there's been a lot of comments about that. The prior owners had a different agenda.
Yeah.
The prior owners had a different agenda than us. They were more focused on the bottom line. So as soon as before we bought it, we went and talked to the city about, what do you really want? They said, well, we want better service, better meeting facilities, and better rooms. So we immediately put $4 million into the improvements. when we bought the hotel to bring it up to speed. And then we also later spent money on a restaurant with the Max and Erman's upgrading that. So we've continued to increase the quality of the service. And we did have one issue early on, 4 years ago. I did read on the internet where the city manager sent the council letters, some complaints and all about why they don't come. All the letters addressed the Needed Headquarters Hotel. Only one of those specifically identified the DoubleTree, where the service wasn't satisfactory. That was 4 years ago, and as a result of that, the general manager got fired. So the only incidents I have documented of a situation like that, we fired a GM, and we've since have a new general manager.
Paige, my understanding is that initially you did have a proposal, and the city, somebody rejected it and went with the Armada Hoffler proposal. So what are you doing differently now from the first proposal that you submitted to what you would do now?
Well, the renovations are much more extensive. Can you go back one screen?
Yes, sir.
The biggest
Apparently I can't.
Yeah, the largest concern we were having was the meeting space and the adequate meeting space. And the look of the hotel. It's all low ceilings and one story. So what we're going to do, this is existing building right here. This roof will be blown out, so this is going to be a raised ceiling. We'll no longer have the single ceiling in the main hotel. And all the new part through here will all have raised ceilings. So you're going to get a totally different look when you come into the hotel. You won't even recognize it. So people coming here, it's going to see all new. And you're going to go to the secondary entrance, that'll be all new with high ceilings. And then the exterior, we will go back to the second one. You can't see it from this angle, but the existing building looks totally different. It looks much more like the new building, so we're doing much more extensive renovations on the exterior. So the architects tell me they won't even recognize it from the front.
We are definitely in need of a headquarters hotel such as that, because wherever I'm going, and I go to a couple of conventions a year, they have all the facilities of dining and meeting rooms convertible. Of course, they can use this for dining or for meeting room, but the meeting rooms all centered around one area, which may be double floors or anything else. And there's nothing else that can replace that, to have the large meeting rooms. We don't have anything here unless you go into the small group goes in and breaks up the part of the convention center, and they won't do that. I mean, the big groups favorite even the 500 people or less. And you're going, there's no place here which will have dining area. Well, the answer is now the convention center can carry big dining parties. But before, we couldn't have more than 500, even 500 people. We were limited in space. And we aren't limited now, because the convention center we could use for dining facilities, which are very good. They're excellent. They did a beautiful job. But that is all your double building consisting room with the larger one, and double your space is very, very much needed in this area. And all the rooms surrounding it for conventions, they're needed.
I think we've kind of accommodated the convention center folks' request. They wanted more breakout rooms, so what we've got laid out is a lot of breakout rooms and one large ballroom, which we think will more than satisfy the requirements. It's over 20,000 square feet of meeting space when we're done.
That's what we needed here.
Thank you very much for being here. Obviously, you and your company are going through the feasibility and the space planning and room planning and having studies like that. Obviously, the city did as well, and I don't know how privy you are to the results of the studies that the city had conducted for the Convention Center Hotel. Where are those two studies, if there are two actual documents? Where are they similar, and maybe more importantly, what are some differences between the two?
Well, the city did an overall feasibility study, which we've studied, to show what the impacts are on the total economy and the local. And it shows about 95,000 additional rooms generated. So what we did was hire our own consultant to do its own feasibility study to say, should that happen, what impact will that have on your hotel? And in turn, what is the interpolated value with that additional business? So that's what we're having done and just had it completed. And we reviewed it confidentially with a few people in council to kind of show them what the numbers we're showing. But ours is really based on the cities, so it's based on the overall impact. But it shows a reasonable value for what our new hotel will be worth. And that's why we're trying to get the total number on the cost to figure out what the gap is.
So if your study complements the city study right now, are you going to be in the process of a new feasibility study, or is that just part of the planning process?
We just completed our feasibility study, which we're going to use to take to our banker to get the financing for our project.
Page back here. Over here, to your left.
Oh, okay.
My question is specifically about the bridge. Why can that not be just like a sidewalk? I don't see any reason why we should build a bridge from the hotel over to the convention center when I think that problem could just be like a sidewalk to the convention center and it's the same length.
The problem is flow of traffic and weather. If you built it on the ground, then you would affect your flow of traffic. When you elevate the pedestrians, your flow of traffic can continue and it protects them from the weather. Some people don't want to go out in the weather when they go into a convention.
What's the distance of that bridge?
I think it's 4. What's the distance of the bridge? Is it 500 feet?
I think it's about 600 from
600 feet from our front entrance to their front entrance.
Hello, thank you for coming. I'm probably in a tiny minority because I'm one of these people that hate to go to a hotel and pay good money for a relaxation and recreation and run right into a convention. The atmosphere is totally different with the rushing and cell phones and laptops and conventions. You know, it's not really a trip to me. So my basic concern is the quality of life, about traffic, how's it going to affect the traffic, how it's going to attract the demographics. I know the city goes for the money. They're always looking for more money, for more benefits. But in the past, when we allowed those high-rises to be built on the primary dunes at Virginia Beach, the result was we spend millions and maybe trillions of dollars replenishing the sand. And if you go down to Virginia Beach now, you don't find that pure white sand we used to have. You find clay, you find muck, dredged up by the James River. So they got money all right, but no. The high-rises should have been built beyond the primary dunes, the secondary dunes. Every surfer and every fisherman knows how much money we spent on the Army Corps of Engineers replenishing the sand. And all winter long you hear pumps and pumps and pumps and noise. So my idea is less noise, less congestion, more quality of life. Could you apply that?
Well, I think the convention center was built to support the hotels, which is a big generator for the city. We're just trying to complement what the city's built. I don't think traffic's been an issue so far, even with the largest events, like when they have high school graduations. I mean, traffic sort of flows in and out without a problem.
Okay. Is there a way, though, to have a convention center, maybe not, I'm a visionary, but a separate entrance for the convention areas and a separate entrance for the people that just want a weekend off, just to get away from the trouble, just to relax, and not have to deal with all this busy business.
If we have 10,000 rooms on the ocean front, and I think that's what they try to accomplish. Ours is more of a support hotel for the convention center because some of the conventions want to have rooms right there. It's more for support of the conventions, the people that are supporting the conventions, than the people who actually attend. The people who actually attend, most of them will want to stay at the ocean front.
I'll go to a B&B.
Yeah, and they're willing to pay higher rates. And that's part of the problem with the numbers on this deal. I think that's why the Hyatt had so much trouble and why they were asking such a large subsidy, because they can't get the rate off the water. Now ours would be a much more market price point that the conventioners can pay and afford to pay if they want to stay there. But you're gonna find that most of them are gonna stay at the oceanfront, which is why we put water in the storybook.
Paige, last question back here from the student table.
Hi, I was just wondering if you end up actually doing the renovations to the hotel and building the bridge, how is that going to affect like the conventions going on at the center during the time and the people staying at your hotel? Is that going to be interrupting it at all, anything like that?
There will be some disruptions on our hotel operations. It will not affect the convention center. I think the biggest thing at the convention center people is they'll be able to start selling a new hotel. And most of these conventions are booked 1, 2, 3, 4 years out. So that'll immediately, once we announce plans and everybody knows it's coming, it'll help them start selling the project. As operators, yes, we'll have to deal with that. And that's part of our analysis of figuring what that downtime is and what the loss will be. It's a good question.
Paige, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. The Johnsons will stay around and take additional questions if you have any.